Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a dreadful rack, 4 eyes. Should I be changing? Over takes an N in front. There's an A on the board, so I have Rapini. And I think that's the only way I can get rid of 2 eyes. Well, that's 10 points, not very many. What about just playing Inia? Only 4 fewer points, but retaining 2 consonants, so this is a more balanced leave. And do I have anything amazing through the V? And should I be changing? Wow. Tricky. It's only 6 points. I am changing. And I'll keep INR. Well, I duplicate the consonants I keep, so this isn't a great rack. No scoring tiles. And I don't think there's going to be an 8-letter bingo here. But I can sort the rack out with a play of Knurl or Rin. Plenty of choices, and the Nova hook available, as is Oval. So I could play Knurl and Oval, or Larn, avoiding placing a vowel next to a triple word square. Great, only 20 points for opponent. So this is what I was thinking of. Larn. And I'm choosing that over Knurl because Knurl places an I next to this triple letter square where a Q or an X could go. And I don't think there's a huge amount of difference between A and I on the rack, especially with N, which helps the I. Just 15 points. Am I? So what would Knurl and Joel score? 15. Okay, I'm going with this. Well, I do have the ing ending, which is one benefit of retaining IN rather than AN. But I'm not seeing a bingo with that as a 7. I have fronting through the T. Wow! Will that remain available? Row H, quite attractive, but opponent could play another T in that spot. Do I have anything with R and N? That looks a lot less likely. And what about the A? No, not seeing anything through that, nor through J-O. Larn takes S and T, possibly Y. So what if opponent blocks fronting? Well, I have a G for going after J-O. I'd like to split up the duplicate N. Wow, opponent does block my bingo. Do I have anything with IT? No, I do not. And row H now available for 6-letter plays ending A or S. I have neither. Par takes an O in front. Gosh, throwing is good, but that doesn't work. I've got nothing to go in front of G. And I'm still trying to split up duplicate N. So what about playing Fon? 17 points, keeping a decent rack leave. Can I score much more than that? No, I don't think so, and this isn't providing a huge spot for opponent. Wow, pretty grim. Except I have unwiring through this N. Wow. And surely opponent's going to be attracted to openings around the word I've just played. Now Fit has altered row H again. Fit takes S and T. Well, I have neither. Fantastic. Unwiring remains available from a very unpromising set of tiles, including U and W. 74 points. Fantastic. And not a bad random set of tiles, but I'm not seeing a 7 here. Could there be an 8? Well, not many floaters on the board. There's the A, and I'm not seeing anything through that. So I don't think so. Great, just 6 points for opponent, but one has to infer that he's kept 5 pretty fantastic tiles. Not sure there's terribly much I can do with that inference. And although my rack is nice, it's not worth hanging on to. There's no 4 or 5 letter set which feels close to a bingo. I'm just wondering if there's a 5 letter play I've got beginning with M. I do have oleum, which would sort the rack out nicely, leaving ET, and it would disrupt the S lane in column 12, but I'd score more if it began with an M. And I do wish to play off the U because it's so non-bingo-y. So oleum for 19. Still both blanks unseen. Yeah, and the floaters U and M are not the most bingo-y of floaters. I note that the row H hotspot has disappeared with the play of POW. So I am going with this. Wow, pretty grim. There is a U in the open for the Q, so I have key in that spot, and a U in unwiring, so I can offload this Q straight away, which is good. And I have quieted on the rack, so that would also sort the rack out. And it would get doubled in column 12. Any other Q spots around the board? And I'm looking at the eyes because of Chi, but none available. Oi takes an M in front. Okay, opponent takes out the better of the U spots, but leaves this one behind. So, wow, tricky. So do I play key, keeping 4 consonants, or quite, keeping 3 consonants, or quieted? I'm going for the maximum. Quieted for 19. D isn't the most useful floater in the middle of a bingo, and it's hard to put a high-scoring tile to its left. I am going with this. Well, not great. Only the solitary vowel. And it's this lack of balance between vowels and consonants which mean your choice of words really shrinks. Now, I do have a 50-point lead, but I feel opponent is on the brink of bingoing. He's played just 2 tiles for both the last 2 turns. I haven't got anything great in row O. Do I have anything with the E? No, not seeing anything. And very few floating vowels on the board. I have an M for moi. Nothing goes in front of oleum. Only an S goes after fub. But I have 2 of them. Through a U, I would have sanctums, I think. Sancta also a plural. I do have dams in row O, which would take out the lane and sort my rack out. Not a huge score. I don't know if unwiring takes an S. My guess would be that it doesn't. Now, what about the eye of unwiring coming down? Not seeing anything good there. Fon takes an S. Now, what about the Y? I have an M. So I could play vertically. I could play man. Nearly 30 points. That's worth considering. It is keeping 4 consonants, so it may not be best. Opponent taking a while with this play, but I suspect he is very close to a bingo, and I provided 3 good floaters for him. Wow, okay, so that D was quite useful, as it turns out. And I trailed by 90. So, what to do here? I still have this man spot because mana is good. No useful floaters for me. And since I trail, I don't want to choke the board up. Just wondering what I have, which gets my M tripled. The C is quite bingo-y, so I'm happy to retain that. So what about mana for 30? I think the score is good, and I'm taking out the EX danger. Well, apart from next, XT. But I think I will go with this. And great, I do draw vowels, so I have sequence and stances and ascents. Not sure there's anywhere for any of those. My doesn't take anything in front. So do I have anything ending in S or T? Not seeing anything. I think oleum takes an S, so I have ascents in column 14. Nothing I've got goes in front of OI. Let me come back to the T. I have the EST ending, so scantust. Yep, I think that's good. And that would, well, both that play and ascents get doubled, and they're very similar plays. 26 for opponent. So this is going to score more. Ascents for 80. And I'm just pausing in case it's worth looking for something better, but ascents isn't bad. It's got 3 consecutive consonants, so opponent is going to struggle to have a big overlap. And can't put a high-scoring tile on this triple letter square apart from an H, of which there are 2 unplayed. I am going with this. So, through an E, I would have correroed. Is there an A? Not in the right spot. Okay. Anything else? Crookeder through the right number of floaters, but it would be a lot. So, wow, neck and Chi are good. Do I have anything longer? Roy neck doesn't work in that spot. I do have Correro through this E, which sorts the rack out. I'm not really looking at column 15. I'm expecting opponent to play there, and the top of the board isn't particularly useful. I'm really looking for somewhere to offload the K for score and split up the duplicate, so playing off K, O and R. So what about column 2? Do I have anything beginning with K and ending in T? I don't think I do. Do I have anything in row N getting the K tripled? Still 2 S's and a blank to come, so Correro, not great. Not seeing anything. Great, look at that, just 26 points. And, wow, do I have anything in column 14 because of KI, and I'm looking for any 5-letter play beginning with K. And I do have Correro on my rack, but OA isn't good. So it's got to begin KE or nothing. Well, I've got KED, but that's just leaving duplicates. So Well, I was looking for an alternative in that spot, maybe beginning with D, but having to have E in second place is really restrictive. I do have Darrow, I think is good for 29, keeping the K for score. Yep, that is good. So, this doesn't look too bad. The C helps the K, rocketed, rocketeur. Neither works with S and T. Cork tree through an R. Now, I haven't really been considering AT, so I could have overlooked a bingo. Look at this, just 1 point between us. Super tight game. I've still got the next spot, and that's more attractive now because CWEORT is quite a decent leave, and I'm also taking out the next danger. Now the K can go in front of OI. So am I sure there is no bingo ending S or T? And what about S? Now opponent takes out the K danger. Do I have a 5-letter play ending in T? Cat is good, but I don't think I have anything great. Can't get the K tripled next to the R of Larn. And I trail. OK is good, so I do have Eek in this spot. For 29 points, decent score. Let me check the remaining vowels. 7 out of 20. OK, I'm less keen on Eek. That is not many. Now, are there any longer words in row N ending in K? I don't think so. What goes in front of O-N-E? Well, nothing that works with things that go in front of hats. What about column 10? No, I would need an A to go after AI for that to work. Gosh, tricky rack. Nice play by opponent taking out that next spot. That would have been jolly handy. So I trail. I'm just thinking about playing cork. There's still a blank to come. Very unbalanced bag, so the chances are only one of us is going to bingo. I'm taking out columns 1 and 2, both of which are really useful lanes. And opponent's score of 27 for Ho, I don't think he was primarily taking out this triple letter square. I've got a far greater feeling that he's setting up an extra lane for him to take advantage of. So cork kills all the bingo lanes on the board, scores 27 points, so I'll be 310 to 311. And I've got precious vowels. Is this the right thing to do? Well, I think so. 27 points. I'm not seeing anywhere else on the board to score that. And I feel that opponent has got the good tiles in terms of the bingo-y tiles. I am going with this. And one factor relating to the vowel shortage is all the high-scoring tiles, Z and X, really benefit from vowels. And there aren't many left, so hanging on to the E's could be really useful. Okay, we're back. And I was playing cork. Wow, and I draw the bingo-y tiles plus the vowels. Unbelievable. And just 1 point between us. Gosh. Okay, well, this is going to be tricky. I have no scoring tiles. Do I have anything with the blank as an H? I don't. What about the front hooks for Oi? So there's K and H. Nothing there. And M. Not seeing anything there. Wow. This is going to be tight. It's going to be the reverse of what I was expecting. I was expecting to get the high-scoring tiles, with opponent having the bingo-y letters. And I've just blocked reunites. So, are there really any other lanes I've missed? So there's U and R. Doesn't look useful. Yeah, opponent could play Z, and then I'm really struggling. Gosh. I could play EQ. EQ's quite nice, only 5 points, and the U is useless, but what's opponent going to do about this E? If he reached the triple word square, then he would be creating a new lane, most likely. So I could have a play ending ME. Are there really no M bingos here? Well, not that I've seen. So a play could begin UN. So how am I doing for time? 8 minutes on my clock and 9 on opponents. So we've both got plenty of time. There are only 9 tiles in the bag and only 4 vowels out of 16 tiles. Now with the blank, I may be able to set up a lane that only I can use, but it's very hard to do that. Yeah, especially with 2 S's to come. So, just wondering if Ascents takes an N in front. It may do, but I'm not sure that's massively useful. I'm really not going to score very much with only 1 point tiles. So a huge shortage of bingo lanes on this board, just the solitary one in row B, which I am not able to use. And opponent taking a while with this play, which suggests maybe he doesn't have ZEE. And opponent's played HA for 22. Okay, so he does have this lead of about 20 points. So what if I play EQ and opponent plays Z? Well, Z takes an E, so I think there is merit in doing this. This rack leave is spectacular. And there's still row B if opponent does manage to snuff out column 1 without creating a new lane. I am going with this. So, more bingo-y tiles. I'm sure I have something in column 1. I would hope I do. Selenite, perhaps. Enlistee. What about row B? So a play ending in H or HE. Well, Thelin is the bingo with the blank as an H. What about the blank as an M? 5 tiles in the bag. Not seeing anything. And then the blank as a K. So what about net-like? Wow, these like words are really, really tricky. If net-like is good, that does play in row B, but I'm not confident about it. And do I have anything ending in U? Or ending U something? This U isn't as terrible as I thought. Okay, well that's the worst option. And let me find out if net-like is good. And it is, and I draw an S, and there's just 1 point between us. This could actually be terrible because I'm not going to score much with my S, and opponent has got Z. So, fortunately, I've got a lot of time to find out the best spot for my S, but my fear is it's not going to be that fantastic. So, let me do this methodically. I have Kois and Fons for 10. No points for the K. Fubs, 9. Wow, 56 points for opponent. And I'm only going to get 6 on countback, 387, 13. I need to score 49 points to draw. Well, that is not going to happen. What do I get for the S here? 19 points. Can I do any better? And I don't think I can. And the final score, 406 for me, 436 for my opponent, a winning margin of 30 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game, and what an end game. Could I have done better? It was opponent to go first, played over. And now, I considered some of these. I didn't consider Piani, and I think that probably would have been the play, keeping just 2 eyes. But I change, and that's not terrible. Opponent plays Taj, and I have a pretty ropey rack, and I play Larn. Opponent's rack, and wow, missed bingo, I think. Yeah, he plays Jip, and he missed Impetigo, Peignoir, and Epigonic, all fairly tricky to see. No miss bingo for me. Throwing and Jog, that's nice for 26. I play Fon for 9 fewer points, but keeping a nice rack leave. And another missed bingo, Air Power. Again, tricky to see, onto the R of Larn. Opponent plays Pow, and I have Unwiring. Opponent plays AI, and Molt was playable, keeping 2 E's, and I play Oleum for 8 fewer points, keeping ET, so I think Molt would have been a better play, even though the rack leave was worse. Opponent's rack plays Fub. And now here we go. I play Quited for 19, the 39-point play, retains the Q and burns the S. So I do like Quited. I think there could be an argument for playing just Quite and not sticking the D down there. But anyway, difficult to know. Now, great spot by opponent of Steadied, the only triple-triple, and he goes into a 90-point lead. Satem, that's nice. What do? I play Mana for 30, but retaining the S, so not a huge difference between those plays. Opponent plays Gluey, and now I have a sense for 80. Scantist was available, and the one I didn't see, Cantus is through the U. And the other plays are the anagrams of a sense, but don't get doubled. Now, opponent plays Oidia. And what do I do here? I played Darrow for 29, keeping KO. O11. Through the Y, Reicht available for 39, 10 more points, but keeping double O. Yeah, I don't think my move is terrible, given the rack leaves. Now, opponent's rack plays Ho. So he wasn't keeping a powerhouse, but he was setting up a spot for his S. But he was retaining B and V, so not expecting to bingo. I thought about Eek, but then saw the vowel shortage and went with Cork for 27, which I still think is fine. Opponent plays Ha, and here we go, just 7 tiles left, no bingo. And this is where I play EQ. Was that best, given opponent was short on vowels? And I trailed by only 20. And there was a lane in row B. What could I have done? Q, I, J5, Chi and Pin. Quite nice, 20 points. That would have taken me to within 30 of opponent and retained a decent rack leave. Yeah, maybe EQ was reckless, or suboptimal rather. And certainly opponents does have good scoring spots there. But I was retaining an absolutely fantastic rack. And, well, I have net-like. I was expecting other bingos to come up, which I could argue would have been better than net-like, but there weren't. I guess one option, given that there was one tile in the bag, would have been to play off one tile with a view to bingoing out. But it's very difficult to judge those situations. Now, opponent's rack and a great spot of Zybet, which put the game beyond reach, and my best out is Zybets, but it's not enough, and I lose by 30. So, what a game. Absolutely fascinating stuff, and jolly close throughout. Despite opponent having a triple-triple, I clawed my way back into the game, and we entered into a very close end game. And I think there were two critical features there. One, whether EQ was the right play when options such as Chi were available. And secondly, when I played net-like, should I have played just one tile with a view to bingoing out? So do let me know in the comments what you think about those two choices and anything else which caught your fancy in the game. So many congratulations to my opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.